Hello, everyone. This is Tressie, and I wanted to talk to you today about sometime we can be either confident in who Jesus is in our life and who he wants to be in our lives, and sometimes we're confused and sometimes we're deceived. So sometime we can be all three, can't we? So I want to talk about a time when remember when Jesus came into Jerusalem that last week, and they laid down the palm branches and they said, Hosanna, Hosanna to the King of Kings who's come in the name of the Lord. And so we see that the people were confident in who Jesus was. But we also see before the week is out, the same people that were shouting Hosanna were shouting, crucify him, crucify him. Sometimes maybe we flip-flops sort of the same way. You think things happen and we think, well, maybe it's not what he said it was. But I want to compare this to another story that Jesus told us in Mark chapter 4, when he was going across the lake, and he told the disciples, he said, we're going across to the other side. Then they got in the boat, and then Jesus got in the boat and went to sleep. And then a fierce storm came up. The wind began to blow and the waves began to come across over in the boat. And it's like, wow, we're taking on water in this little boat. And they got scared. They were terrified. And they shook Jesus up and they said, Master, don't you care that we're dying? We're drowning? Well, that's not what Jesus said, is it? What did Jesus say? He said, we're getting in the boat. We're going to the other side. Then he got in the boat and went to sleep. And the disciples got afraid and they thought they were going to drown. And they were scared. So they woke him up, and he gets up and he rebukes the wind, and then he tells the waves to calm down. And there was a great peace. And it actually says, as great as the storm was, it's the same adjective used for the great peace that came when Jesus told the waves to calm down, to have peace and be still. So when they got to the other side, there was two demoniac men, two men filled with demons. And when Jesus got out of the boat, those men come running up to him and he cast the demons out. Remember, one of them said the name of them was Legion. It was so many of them. And so Jesus set those men free. So why did the storm come? Think about it. What would the enemy not want them to go across that lake? One, he didn't want those people to be set free, those two men. Plus, the whole area was afraid, because they would make detours to go around where these two demoniac men were at, because nobody wanted to be around them. They were so fierce and frightful. And so people would make detours to go around to get to where they needed to go, another direction. So Satan didn't want those men to be set free. He didn't want the people to have free access to come and go like they were. Plus, if you look at the end of that story about Jesus casting the demons out of them, the men wanted to get back in the boat and go with Jesus and his disciples and help preach the gospel with Jesus. But Jesus said, no, you go home, tell your family and your communities. And one of the men went back, told his family, and then he went to 10 cities telling the gospel of Jesus Christ. So now you see why the storm came. And my conclusion to this story, how to apply it to our lives, is when there's a storm coming up in our lives, we need to just press on through it. Trust Jesus is still good. He's our provider. He's going to get us to the other side. Keep believing Jesus to get you through the storm to the other side. Somebody on the other side of that storm needs to know about Jesus. They need the Jesus that's in you. They need to know that it's going to be all right. Jesus will take good care of you if you'll trust him and stop being afraid. So there, let's trust the Lord and stop being afraid. And when the wind starts blowing, people start talking. You know, that week that they were shouting Hosanna, what happened next? The political people started talking. The religious people started talking. And they started believing some of those lies, that maybe Jesus wasn't who he said he was. But he was, and he still is, the King of Kings, and he's the Prince of Peace. He's our Prince of Peace. He's on your boat. Put him to work. Speak. Let him speak through you. But you have to use your mouth. He wants to use your mouth to speak to the storm and tell it to be quiet. I'm going to the other side. Have a great day.